Thanks very much. My name is Chris Anderson, and I am from Austin, Minnesota. Has anybody ever been to Austin, Minnesota?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad don't count. If any of you guys are a little hazy, that's the town with a spam museum and a closed-up, boarded-up Target. Can you imagine a blacker eye for a town in Minnesota? It's like our prized possession saying, like, here's a Target, here's one of us, you're one of us. Oh, you couldn't handle it. Sorry, bye. So look for the border of Iowa to change soon, jut up a little bit north. We're coming down. We're coming to Iowa, folks. I describe Austin to explain to you that I look for any opportunity to get out of Austin. So I do. I end up driving quite a bit up on I-90, and anytime I end up stopping at a truck stop, there on the front of the door, there's that policy we all know. No shirt, no shoes, no service. And I think to myself, you know what? If I owned a truck stop in rural Minnesota, I think that sign would read, no shirt, no shoes, help is available. Right? If any of you or me end up in Blue Earth or Dexter without any shoes on, like we clearly have made some wrong turns in life. It's not like I just rolled in off the beach and forgot to grab my flip-flops. Like, no, like this is desperate times, folks. The last thing I need is some clerk who's a real stickler for policy. Actually, if I'm honest with myself, if I did own a truck stop in rural Minnesota, that sign would say, no shirt, no shoes, full and part-time positions available. Welcome to Dexter. We will take anyone. I'm married, coming up on my 10th wedding anniversary. Thanks. I'm surprised as well. When we got engaged, my wife and I, we had a conversation about how we were going to be really intentional about keeping things romantic, and we're doing great. Last weekend, she was feeding me Cheetos one at a time out of the bag. She was being really cute about it too. She's like backing up a little bit with each one, all playful. Until I fell off the toilet. It's a lucky lady. I told that joke once when her brother was in the audience. I came up to him after the show and I'm like, hey, what'd you think? And he's like, that Cheetos joke was super gross. I was like, I know, it's just a joke. In real life, it was bugles. One on each finger. I ate them all. I like to ride my bike to work. It's not really popular, even though Austin's a small town. It's not a real big deal to ride your bike to work, but I read a list of the benefits of biking last year, and one of the items on the list is that biking gives you swagger. Thanks for noticing that the guy in the cardigan was talking about having swagger. I appreciate that. Yeah, I should be like ashamed of it when I get to work that I'm on my bike, but no, like you get a little adrenaline going in me and you'd think I was making a commercial for WrestleMania. Hopping off my bike while it's still rolling, rip off my helmet, just looking at my coworkers streaming in. I'm like, yeah! 2.6 miles. Anybody else? I didn't think so. Hey, what's up, Williamson? How's about you and me Monday morning at the rack? Now, 8:30, 9 o'clock rolls around, and there's definitely still some swagger present. It's more of a khaki pants swagger. That's around the time I'm in the HR office reporting my coworkers for harassment. I have a bad habit of leaving my flashing red safety light attached to my belt. And they've decided to call my cubicle the red light district. What do you do? What do you do, folks? was going down to Chicago not too long ago for a long weekend. And I was pretty excited, but kind of put a little damper on it on the way in because we got a speeding ticket right as we crossed the state line. And that sucks. It's never fun. But there was a little bit of it that was pretty all right. And the cop explained to us in the state of Illinois, like if it's a minor offense, you're not going to contest it in traffic court. You can actually go online and just pay for your ticket and have it done. And I was so excited to get to our hotel and pay for my ticket because I was going to use my Delta Sky Miles card. Folks, I was getting rewarded for being punished. And it made me realize that we live in a beautiful world. Like, I can go into any Lion's Den adult boutique in this fine country, and I can find the most terrifying thing that has absolutely no business anywhere near my body. But I'm earning miles. Will I be punished? I'm counting on it. So I had the idea, you know what, why don't I go ahead and prepay for my whole funeral because you know what, fuck my family. Why should they get those miles? I'm taking those miles, I'm going down to the San Diego Comic-Con and I'm going to buy the most authentic stormtrooper uniform I can find. And I'm going to leave it up to the funeral home director to explain to my folks, I'm contractually obligated to dress him in this before I can lay him in that. All right. Besides, I know my family. There's no way they're going to honor my request to have the Imperial March playing as I get lowered into the ground. I'm on Facebook quite a bit, more than I ought to be, probably. I'm a big like animal guy. I'm an Audubon Society member, Nature Conservancy. Like I follow the Decorah Eagle camera. That was not a punchline. That was real life coming at you. So Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, based on your activity, will recommend pages for you to like over on the right side of the page. And Facebook recommended that I like a page called the Hornby Eagles. But I thought Facebook had recommended that I like a page called the Horny Eagles. And I was terrified that Facebook had scanned my hard drive. Back in February, we went and took a trip down to Florida, and we were walking on the beach, and we were walking in gopher tortoise habitat, which is an endangered species in the state of Florida. And so it was great. We were like, oh, I hope we get to see a tortoise. If you've never become an animal pornographer, you will in an instant when you find two gopher tortoises just going at it in the sand. Like the camera is already at the ready. You're on vacation, and boom, that comes out. You're snapping away, like getting some hot angles. And it's great because they are tortoise-shaped. And I don't know, I wish I'd been there when it started. Like, I have no idea how the male tortoise got in position because he's just like barely hanging on with his little tortoise claws onto the edge of the shell. And his little tortoise head with each thrust just like going in and out of the shell, just like, When he's done, he just barely lets go and just flops down in the sand, lights his little tortoise cigarette. It's half gone before he can take the first drag off of it. Somebody came up to me at work the other day. He's like, hey, Chris, do you drive a Prius? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, hey, so do I. Do you also like listening to podcasts and drinking French press coffee? And I kind of got up in his face. I was like, Devin, you're coming up to me in the break room talking about French press coffee. Of course I do. I drive a Prius. Right then, one of my coworkers just leans his head out in the hallway and yells, "Prius fight!" If you've never seen a Prius fight, it's a lot like a rap battle. The verbal barbs are traded until a winner is declared. He came at me pretty hard right off the bat. He's like, "Hey Chris, I'm so Prius, I shop exclusively at the co-op." You know what, man? I'm so Prius, I'm fermenting my own sauerkraut in my cupboard. He came back at me pretty hard. He's like, "I'm so Prius, my girlfriend studies abroad in the United States from Guatemala." Multicultural points. I tip my hat to you, sir. I was on my heels, but I came back at him hard, and I came back at him, and I won. I was like, "Devin, I'm so Prius, I didn't even drive my Prius. I rode my bike." That's how you do it, folks. That's how you win a Prius fight. My name is Chris Anderson. That is my time. Thank you so much for giving me an excuse to get out of Austin tonight. Have a